Oh, hello, you wrong one. Oh, I say, what is always the way in the circus? If there's anything going wrong and the circus don't want you to focus over there, they bring the clowns out over here. So it's Clown World today. Ranty llox. Oh, you bet your sweet Bibby. They think we're stupid. They think that we don't see when they're trying to distract us, when they're trying to divert our attention. Shall we have a look at the biggest clowns in the world? Or look at the bigger clown? Yeah, President Joe Biden. Let's get to him in a second. Today I'm going to talk about the royals, film world, politicians, and what they're up to, and oh joy, fancy telling a journalist, an esteemed journalist, to Foxtrot Oscar. Wonderful. Anyway, we'll start with the big clowns. Let's have a look at the Donald. The Donald has said, and he's going to announce it this week, and you've got to watch out for March 11th, because the dollar's going to go into free fall from March 11th. Just keep your eyes open. Did I say that out loud? The Donald has said he's going to pick his vice president this weekend. And he said he's going to pick a VP, vice president, that would stun the world. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to kind of drag JFK up from the dead? Or is the smart money on JFK Jr.? Or, as some people are laying bets, could it be Elon Musk? Can you imagine Elon Musk as vice president? Now, he was in a meeting with the Donald last weekend at Mar-a-Lago. Is that what they were up to? Imagine Elon Musk as vice president. Oh, I say, what oh? Or even Tucker Carlson. So the hype man is hyping it up yet again, and the media is in a full feeding frenzy. This weekend, now remember, the bad news is always released on a Friday. Why? Because you forget about it by Monday morning. That's why they release it on a Friday. So it's all coming out. Now, I don't know whether you've seen any of... President Biden. Have you seen any of President Biden's State of the Union address? It kind of wasn't really address. It was, well, did you not think that he's a bit lively? Considering he's Sleepy Joe, he was proper on it, and the timing of things when there was rounds of applause from the House of Representatives, he just kept going. What was he on? Was the immediate question I asked myself, what have they laced his ice cream with? They kept him going. Proper kept him going for the State of Union address. I mean, we know that they have to put stuff on his cornflakes to get him up in the morning. So what did they give him for him to do the State of Union address? I cannot. When we get to the presidential debates in November between the Donald, who's switched on and always awake, to Sleepy Joe, I mean, Sleepy Joe's not going to let him get a word in edgeways. I wonder what they give him to make him jibber non-stop. You might know. I'm asking for your opinion. Comments below, please. Have you seen the budget Chuckle Brothers this week? Rich Boy and Chancellor Hunt. That's C. Hunt. Chancellor Hunt. The Chuckle Brothers, Cockney rhyming slang. This non-dom status. Forgive me, cough hasn't gone. You can make a joke out of that if you want. Now, this non-dom thing that's going around, you do know that going to introduce it in 2025, which means a rich boy and his missus, the multi-billionaire family, Infosys, can leave before then. They get out of the country before 2025. There's going to be a general election in 2024. He's going to be his party are going to be decimated, flattened, trampled to death. So what's going to happen? He's going to leave the country. So it doesn't make any difference to him. So they brought something in for the non-doms, which won't affect the non-doms that are going to leave the country before 2025. You cannot make it up. So it won't affect the Sunax. And Rich Boy got his deputy, Oliver Dowden, to sit in on those discussions due to the conflict of interest with his wife. They're snake oil sellers. They're as slippery as... In fact, they're more slippery if you hadn't doused them in olive oil. I want to get to one of the best bits of 2024. Now, 2024 has been like 2023 on steroids. But Emily Maitlis went to Mar-a-Lago. There was an event at Mar-a-Lago for the Donald, DJT. And we know that journalists are just propaganda peddlers. But Marjorie Taylor Greene was at Mar-a-Lago, and Emily Maitlis kind of stepped to her and put a microphone in front of Marjorie Taylor Greene and said, well, what do you think of, and what do you think of, and what about these Jewish space lasers? I mean, I've no clue what they are. Maybe it's something they hand out at parties. Not sure. They could be recreational. But Marjorie Taylor Greene just turned around and said, oh, why don't you Foxtrot Oscar?
Why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers, and really, why don't you fuck off?
Kind of had a go at her. And it's just, why can't we have more interviewees? Just tell it like it is. If a journalist asks you something that you're not happy with, why don't you just tell them?
You fuck off. How about that?
Foxtrot Oscar? I mean, journalists should always ask questions that they already know the answers to. But I'm sure Emily Maitlis, interviewer of Prince Andrew, that very famous interviewee, she wasn't expecting a Foxtrot Oscar from Marjorie Taylor Greene, was she? No. Good news. One of the greatest boxers or fighters of all time, Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, it's been announced today that he's going to fight Jake Paul. Well, I kind of use the term loosely, fight Jake Paul. I think Iron Mike's going to stretcher him out. I mean, like, Iron Mike is one of the most brutal fighters there's ever been. All right, he's nearly 60-year-old. But as you and I both know, you might lose a little bit of your speed, but you don't lose any of your power the older you get. So he's just got to, loose a couple off, and Jake Paul's going to be on the floor. It's not going to last long. It's free, and it's on Netflix. Netflix have paid for it. So they're not saying whether it's going to be a prize fight of sorts or whether it's going to be an exhibition bout. I think it's going to be a slaughter. I think that's what they do. In Rome, fall of the Roman Empire, that's what they did. And what did the Roman Empire turn into? The Roman Church. So we've got Iron Mike Tyson, one of the most brutal destroyers in the history of boxing, taking on some loudmouth from YouTube. Loudmouth is 27. Iron Mike is 57. Iron Mike has had over 50-odd fights, most of them knockouts. And Jake Paul is going to take on Iron Mike. I mean, I hope he's getting a lot of money, because this could see the end of his boxing career. It's going to happen July 20th in Texas. It's already slated. It's already set up. Iron Mike, Jake Paul, July 20th, Texas. The hype is going to be massive. But I fully expect Iron Mike to give the young boy a lesson. Now, let's get to the Royals. We've had bits and pieces around the Royals this week. Have you seen the latest pictures of King Charles? That boy is not well. We all know what we're being told by the palace, that he has a cancer. He has difficulty with his prostate. Foreign reportage is saying that it's terminal. British press are not telling us anything. But I've seen the king, and I've seen the pictures. His hands are even more inflamed than they were previously. So we've also got, I won't say his son, I'll just name him as Prince Harry, Ginger Sphericals, the Department for Homeland Security. More scrutiny on his confessions of recreational stuff usage. I'll use that in the loosest terms, although in Spare, his book, he has said that he's used recreational gear before. And now his missus is looking for a British PR guru. Why would they be doing that? He reckons he might come back to England. She wants a PR guru over here to give her a better image with the British people. I think it's a bit too late for that, myself. So, are they wanting to be over here because they know what's coming in 6 months? And they know that, like, this week, it's been announced by the palace, on a Friday, of course, that William is going to take another week off just because he needs to be with Catherine. There's something going on. Are your spidey antenna going, hang on, this just doesn't sit right? He's now taking further time off from duties. He's expecting Princess Anne and the Duke of Edinburgh to kind of take up the cudgel and take up the slack and do some of his duties over the next week to 10 days. Are they all having certain types of treatment to kind of clean their blood, their royal blood, of certain things? Who knows? And then we've got Princess Diana's brother, Earl Charles Spencer. He's come out and said, "Oh yeah, I've got a biography coming out soon, and just wanted you to know that I lost my Virginian at 15 years old. Yeah, £15 with a dirty dancer." I mean, are these people just, do they have no integrity? Why would you want the public to know that? All these years later. Got a book to sell. And finally, Esther, the good news is, if you're a Downton Abbey fan, the good news is that there's going to be a new film, not TV series, as was mooted about a week ago, but a movie. International release 2025. So they're going to be recording this summer, this year, and it'll be released at some time in 2025. Now, the first Downton movie, not the telly, because the telly series has been around about 10 years, but the first Downton Abbey movie was in 2019. Second Downton Abbey was in 2022, 3 years later. And the third Downton Abbey is 2025. So we'll expect the fourth one in 2028. Every 3 years. Doesn't take much of an intellect to work that one out, does it? They're expected to take off where number 2 ended, which is the end of the 1920s. But I think the favourite character in Downton was always the Dowager Duchess. What's a weekend? So how are they going to bring the Dowager Duchess back? They're trying to work away in the script. Maybe it's like Bobby Ewing, he was in the shower all the time. Maybe she was just upstairs being washed by the servants. So only Julian Fellows knows at the moment. But there's your little ranty rollicks for today. There's loads going on. Just remember, when anything goes wrong in the circus, they wheel in the clowns. And there's plenty of them to go at today. My name's Adrian Allen. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. And don't forget the Battenberg.